Hi, it's your favourite Yorkshire demo here. This is Suzanne from Hullahbaloo.com. Today's project is this one. It's a tall, slim pouch fit for little treat bags of sweets. Perhaps to jazz them up a little bit. Pop them in as little stocking stuffers, maybe table favours. It would be good for those little chocolates. Green and blacks would fit in here as well. Today I'm using the Peace and Joy stamp set along with the Joy dies. So as you can see here, this beautiful foil, and I'll show you how I did this double ribbon top as well. So let's get started. So first of all, we will need a piece of cardstock that measures 8 inches by 4. This one is shaded spruce. As I'm in a bit of a shaded spruce theme at the moment. We're going to do some tone-on-tone stamping using the Peace and Joy stamp set, and I'm using these 2 holly leaves here. They come joined together on a single stamp, so they're there. We'll grab those, and I'm going to mount those up on a, I've got a B block, so we'll mount those up. And then I've got my matching shaded spruce ink. And all I'm going to do, and you've seen me done this a few times now, in fact I'll place that there, is stamp randomly across the page. I like to start somewhere in the centre and then work my way out. Twisting the stamp block as we go, and then making sure we stamp off the page as well. And we just do this over the whole cardstock, like so. I love tone-on-tone stamping. I mean, how gorgeous is that? Who would have thought that just grabbing the same colour ink as card would leave such a distinctive tone as this does? It's beautiful. And I love shaded spruce with Christmas things. There's just something about this green that I love. So all over we go. So this is great for any skinny kind of present, or perhaps table favour. It doesn't take up much card, very easy to replicate. You can get 2 out of a sheet of international A4. Could you get 3? Possibly get 3. No, you couldn't get 3. It'd just be too short to get 3 out of it. So you can get 2, but to me that's still great because it's less than, you know, it's less card for me to use per, if I was to make a production line of these. Then I'm just gonna fill in a few of those off gaps just to make it look like we've gone across the whole thing. So there we go. Pop these away. And now that we've finished stamping, we need to get our scoreboard out. So there's only 4 scores. On the long side, you need to score this at 3 3/4, 4 1/4. And then turn it to the short side and you score it at 1/2 inch on each side, or 1/2 inch and 3.5 inches, whichever you prefer. Pop that off of there. We'll build up our box and then we'll get the die cutter out. So we're going to fold and burnish all of these lines. And as I made a little bit of a boo-boo just then, that will be the back of my box. I'll make the nice side the front. Or is it going to be where the dies go? No, it's not. So we'll put that to the back. Okay, so little bit of cutting. You have 2 rectangles and a small square in the middle. So cut up each side of those squares. And then we'll notch in ever so slightly, like so. and you want to do that on both sides. So up the sides of that square and then notch in like so. And there we have our box layout. So because I've said I want this as the back, the glue that we need, so I'm using my Stampin' Seal Plus. You need a bit on each of the tabs, making sure we don't pull those off. And then you need adhesive on the one that is going to become the back panel. So on both tabs to that panel. As you can see, you need to be light of touch with the seal, as it can be a little bit mean to your card otherwise. There we go. So then what you want to do is build how we would normally bring a box. So we bring this edge up and we stick that tab onto the back edge. And we do that on both sides. And then you bring the front up and you want to marry up those sides, get them nice and square, like so. And then press them down, and then the same on the other side. Marry those sides up and then press them down. So there you've got your little box. What I'm going to do now is close this off. So I've got, this is the shaded spruce that comes as part of the Wonder of the Season combo pack. So this is 1 inch wide, it's very thick, very wide ribbon. It's lovely for boxes like this. So I'm just going to pop that up the middle and up the back, and then I'm going to chop that off. And then in the combo pack comes this gold cord as well. So we're just going to use this too. Where have I stuck it? Which I always stick my ends back down, because otherwise I have a ribbon rack just up there, and then if I don't stick the ends down, all the ribbons dangle down the sides. So the gold cord, and this is what we do. So we pull these two up the middle, and this is to achieve this enclosure here. So ribbon up the middle, and we're going to put the gold cord round it like so, and then just put that into a knot initially like that. It won't look how you want it to at this stage. You want to pull them down, and you want to keep that knot being pulled like that. Keep that tight. Get your ribbons. I just like to pull the ribbons and get them how I want them to look before we do the final bow. And then you tie your final bow like so, getting it how you want it to look at the end, like that. Bring those loops back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And then just give those a trim. Okay, so the final pieces that we need to do here, we'll get our foil ready. So this is using, so this green comes in a pack of red and green foil. So we're using a green piece. So I've got a scrap of that ready. And then the back piece is with gold. So I've got those. I've also got my Joy dies. So these are absolutely gorgeous dies when I'm not destroying my table. So as you can see, it comes with lots of dies. So they say bright, joy and peace. But then, as you can see on the box, you get the thinner lettering, which are these. You get an outline, which is I've used here in gold, which is the inner one of these two. But you also get a second outline, it's the wider piece, so this lays up in 3 sections. I've chosen to only use 2 here. So I'm going to take off the lettering and then the first of the outlines. And the both I've gone with Joy again. And then what I'm going to do on the back of these is I've got a piece of the cling adhesive sheets, not cling adhesive, just normal adhesive sheets, and because they're so thin I know that I'm really rubbish with glue, so I'm going to pop them onto these sheets so that I don't have to use my fine tip glue pen, because that's what I'm absolutely naff with. I'm going to pop them onto there like that, and then I'm going to grab my cut and emboss machine like so. This is beautiful, this machine. I've used it so many times already, and I love it. It's just, it glides. So to do this you will need plates. One, so this is your actual base cutting plate. You need a thin die adapter, which is plate 2. You need a cutting plate, which is plate 3. Pop down our foil. I want the outer joy to be in gold, and I want the inner lettering to be in the green. And then we need to put another plate 3 on top, and we'll just put those through the emboss tool. And as you can see, it's so smooth, it glides. You do get a bit of the cracking when the plates are new, but they've gone through absolutely fine. Now you don't have to go through twice, I just choose to. I think it's habit from my previous die cutting machine. Okay, so we'll take those off of there, pop my dies where I don't lose them. So as you can see, the joy is cut beautifully there. Pop these plates out of the way. And then I'm just going to be careful removing this joy as it's so thin. If I'm clumsy, then I will break it. Just going to pop these little bits out like so, and then we're going to layer these up on each other. So you saw me put the sticker on the back, the adhesive. Just need to peel them like a sticker. There we go. And now we can layer this up on the joy without having to use that fine tip glue pen. So we'll line the J up, line the O up. And what I love is that these dies have a little indent of where the lettering should go. So it's like a guide when you're bringing it together. Right, okay, so that will pop on. Let's move that back in the middle. That will pop on there. Now we need to do our stamping for this piece. So I've got a scrap of Whisper White. I've got my shaded spruce ink again. We'll bring that back in. And I have got the Peace and Joy stamp set as well again. And this time we're going to use the should we use To You and Yours? Or Joy to the World? Joy to You? No, we'll stick to the World. So To the World is there. So we'll pop this on a block 2. So what block have I got here? I've got a G block. We're going to make sure this is straight by using the grid paper, like so. Helps her put it the right way. Straight. Stick that on. It doesn't want to stick to the block. Stuck it to the paper instead. There we go. Stick on there. And then, because I'm going to be cutting round it, it doesn't wholly matter if it's not straight on the card. There we go. Lovely wording. I love these. I love when stamp sets aren't, you know, when you stamp down and the impression's the background, leaving the true card colour coming through as the wording, rather than just stamping the wording, if that makes any sense to you. So we're just going to trim that literally on the edge of the green, because then we're going to pop this onto a piece of the gold to match those dies. so. And this is quite a narrow piece once you've trimmed round, so I will be using glue dots to adhere this. So I've got my piece of gold, I've got my glue dots, and I'm just going to pop one of these on each end. Like so. And then I'm just leaving ever so tiny border around, just so you get a glimpse of the foil, but not too much. Like so. There we are. And then just by eye, trim around that as well. There we go. So we've got both bits ready to stick on. So 2 glue dots in the middle of this, because we want it to stick onto the ribbon, so that when you take the ribbon off, the wording comes off with it. And you want to stick that a little from the bottom, like so. And then the Joy has got that sticker on it as well that we put on as we were die cutting it. So just take that off and we'll pop this above it, like so. So there we are. 2 little pouches, perfect for little Christmas stocking stuffers, and with a gorgeous bow top. In fact, what I have forgotten to do is just trim those off so they're a nice edge to them. And I like to do them in opposite directions for a bit of quirkiness. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you'll see you next time. Bye.